What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode of Bridging the Gap. I am Byron Nash, here with my homeboy,
Johnny Angel.
Today we have a really special guest. He's making some waves in the music scene here in Pittsburgh, but also in business. Jordan Montgomery from Driving While Black Records is our special guest today, and can't wait for you to meet him.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
He's a good guy, man, and you know, one of the reasons why I wanted him on, first for music, but also he works in music business, and it had me thinking about like the new stage of how the game is now, if you will.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one of our older guests who was like, yeah, we're going to drop our album, and I was like thinking, what if you did a single, right?
Yeah,
because
that's
that's kind of how it is now. And what do you think about like kind of the new direction of how people listen to music, but also what artists have to do to get their music out there?
Well, first of all, the actual product, the vinyl, right? It's starting to come back.
Yeah.
Which is really great for me.
I think it's back. I don't even think it's coming back.
Really?
It's back.
I mean, now people are saying, did you see my record? You know, instead of, because I have a hard time saying, my collection is made up of clouds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, let me pull this down from the cloud, you know? I like to hold that piece of vinyl and read the bios and the whole bit. But music has changed so much now.
Yeah.
And it is, most of the weight now is put on the artist.
It is.
And that's what's tough, because I know some artists, when this first started happening, they were let's do it, let's take control. And then they go and they, maybe we shouldn't. Yeah.
Well, not everybody has both the artistry and the business side, you know, and it is an extra weight. Because I'm old school in a lot of ways, but I'm very current as well. So I was thinking about it, like, all right, how do I want to release music?
Yeah.
Like, I think singles are the way to go because that's how most people listen to music. But there's still people like us who do want to hear a whole record and a body of work. So I feel like you should do both.
I think so.
And just kind of embrace the old, but also embrace the new and figure out what works best for you moving forward. Because the difference is now, you know, you can reach anyone in the world. Before it was sort of like whoever had access to that record where you distributed, you know?
That's right.
So I don't know, I was just thinking about that musically and how artists are going to keep navigating as things change and get a little, you know,
I don't know what the future
advanced.
holds.
No, we didn't see this coming, you know?
To me, it's already futuristic, you know?
It's true. But I still do rock vinyl, so my record of the week, as I'm getting ready for gig season, is Al Di Meola. You know, just thinking about the craft of guitar and the way that I want to play and be better. This, you know, I go through these phases where I listen to the real super players, you know, and then I don't try to play like them. I just try to absorb some of that energy and then figure out how I can play my version of sort of what they do. And this is I don't know if this is one of his last electric records, because after that, he didn't play electric guitar anymore. He was just playing all kind of like, kind of Spanish acoustic guitar stuff. But yeah, this is my record of the week, man.
Well, today, in fact, this week, I've been into, once again, my roots. I'm going back to the Temptations.
Nice. And
this is one of my favorites because, first of all, I love the suits. I like the emerald green suits. I still remember seeing them wearing these suits, right? Yeah. But what was great about this album is they mixed a lot. Barry Gordy was so smart, talk about the business. Yeah. He mixed their show at the Copa with different types of tunes. You have the Motown standards. Then you have some really hardcore stuff like Hello Young Lovers and all that kind of stuff, right? And it showed the versatility of the Temptations. Yeah. You know, but this here, the harmonies are incredible. Davey Ruffin had just left the band at the time. Dennis Edwards took his spot and he crushed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, awesome.
But again, one of my faves.
And that's a live one.
Live at the Copa.
Oh, awesome. So, you ready to bring up our guest?
I can't wait to meet him, man.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to bring up Jordan Montgomery.
Jack in the Box.
Welcome to Jack in the Box. And today I'm reminiscing about music. Not just rock and roll, but I'm talking about the good old days, too. I'm talking about the Rat Pack era. I'm talking about the Tony Bennett era. Tony Bennett right there. Autographed Tony Bennett. I love the man, right? But check out the records, how cool they were and are. You know, on Columbia, that's the yellow label. There's another Columbia yellow label. Here is a Columbia on the red label, but this one here was one of my favorite. In the middle of an island. Oh, Tony Bennett, baby, that's Ginchy.
welcome back, everybody, to Bridging the Gap. We'd love to introduce our special guest, Jordan Montgomery. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, man.
Absolutely, yes.
How are things going?
These are going well.
You have a new record coming out?
Record's out now, actually. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's called Prime Real Estate. Been working on it for 3 years.
Okay.
Finally happy to have it out. It was produced by Big Germ, who's done a lot of stuff with Wiz and Mac and a lot of people that have come through ID Labs. Right now it's on Bandcamp. I'll start releasing the singles out on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff soon. But a lot of great reception so far.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. It's funny, we were talking about different ways to release music. Mm-hmm. What made you go with, even though so you said it's an album, but you're still releasing singles, what made you go with like a full release?
Yeah, I mean, even in the 3 years since I've put out, music, I feel like there has been more of an emphasis on the singles and people trying to get playlisted and putting music out frequently so you can get your like numbers up and everything. So I know I still had a good following of people that want the full album, but I also have fans that appreciate just singles here and there. So I tried to accommodate both. So I was like, if you want the full project, you can go on my Bandcamp, you can support it there. But if you want to wait for the individual singles, add it to your playlist, however, then you can wait for it to come out on Spotify and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That takes me back to what we were talking about, the old days.
Yeah.
The reason that singles came out was to promote the album.
Right.
Because they did the album first, and then would take what they thought was the best
lead
track.
single.
Right, lead it out,
But what's nice about it is you already have it in the can.
Yep.
So if it's a hit, or you follow it up immediately, bang, you know what I mean? It's right there.
So it's ready to roll, yeah.
We were talking about sort of the balance between being an artist but also business, and then you had Driving While Black Records. What made you want to start like a record label? It is a record label for sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so the first body of work I put out back in 2016, it was called Driving While Black. It was my first album I put out, and in promoting the album, like I had merchandise, I had hats and shirts, and people were buying the merchandise, although they hadn't even heard the music as well. So they were
branding and marketing.
Yeah, right. So I was like, okay, there's something worth growing here. And at first, it was me just trying to learn more about the industry and get more comfortable as a professional artist myself. But then, my friends like Live from the City, who we know very well. He wanted to be a part of the crew at first. At first, I was a little hesitant because I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing yet. But I have a great team. Live, JM the Poet, Icy Pisces is our DJ, Sonny Mac as well. So we have, a nice roster, 5 of us in total. And yeah, we're at a label, but we're also a collective figuring it out together.
Yeah.
That's how Motown started.
Yeah. Takes a village for sure. Yeah.
Now, do you guys all perform on each other's records as well?
Yeah.
And songs?
Very, very frequently.
Awesome.
Like even when we have solo records, we, put out a lot of group material as well. So it's very fun to be in the studio together, or even when we're working on individual stuff and knowing you can tap into someone, and we're always excited to collaborate with one another.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the future for, what are you trying to do next? I know you have the record out, but what's your goal for the upcoming year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely pushing the record for sure, doing some more shows out of town as well. Got one in LA booked, one I'm working on in New York as well. But yeah, just, getting back out there, performing new material. I perform a lot here in Pittsburgh, which I love to do, but I've been performing the same songs for, a few years now. So I'm excited. I had my album release show just the other day. So it felt good performing the new tracks and people received them well. So I'm excited to do it more.
That's sweet, man.
Another thing that people would be interested to know is that, so you're an artist, but then you have Driving While Black Records, but then you also have a job in the industry.
Yeah.
Tell people about what you do and how you got into that and how that kind of helps you, if it does, in the way of just knowing certain things about the business that most artists probably don't understand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I work for Live Nation, our Pittsburgh office. I do marketing. So anytime, there's a Live Nation show booked here in Pittsburgh, whether it's the club level or stadium, amphitheater, we're helping market the show. So make sure people know about it, make sure folks are buying tickets. How I got that gig, it was funny, my day job before that, I was working at a bank for like 5 years, right? And but I've been always very active in the music scene, with growing Driving While Black in my own personal career. And when the opportunity presented itself, I just kind of took my 2 different skill sets, right, in music and my professional experience, and it got me into the position. So I've been in the job for about 2 years now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it just taught me about just how all sides of the industry works.
You're
right?
smart in doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
because most musicians, they only know music,
Mm-hmm.
and it could get taken real easy,
Mhm.
real easy.
Yeah.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
for sure, yeah.
And what you think you own, you all of a sudden don't own it.
Exactly.
You know? So getting the business part of it down, man, that's a good move.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot, and it helps me, kind of set my expectations as well, right?
Yeah.
A bit like where you're, I think, fully on the artist side, you have these big aspirations and everything, but I'm like, okay, no, this actually takes a lot of work to get to a certain level, so it helps me a lot, for
But you
sure.
also appreciate it more.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the hard work. Yeah.
So with that navigation, do you feel like when you're talking to other artists that you can kind of see that maybe they don't understand like what the real game
Yeah.
is out there
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it comes to like concerts and promotion? Because I think the average person will be like, oh, these tickets are so expensive and this, that, and the other, and they're not looking at all the things
that
like
are
the gas
involved.
money for the tractor trailers to move the stage to the next
Yep.
city, things like that, and why those costs are a part of it.
Yes.
Do you think that artists are starting to become more savvy about that now, or are you kind of seeing there's still a little bit of a separation because you're in the role that you're in?
I think they understand it a bit more now, just because so much is in the artist's hands nowadays. Where you can literally, you don't need like a major label to just upload something to like Spotify or anything, right? You can do it yourself. So I think artists are becoming more familiar with just being more hands-on with all sides of it, but I do think I'm able to still bridge that gap for maybe artists that don't really understand, or even people on the business side that may not understand the artists as well.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of thrive in that middle space quite a
Awesome.
bit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next? I mean, outside of
Yeah.
the traveling and gigs, is it just like stay on the grind with the music and continue the job? Is there a limitation to having the job with trying to do the music?
I think it's more of a time limitation than anything. Like, wearing a lot of hats and my own artist career, growing the label, and then working the full 9 to 5. But somehow I'm able to balance it all. I think it's really just staying organized. Like, okay, for the most part, 9 to 5 and a few extra hours here and there are designated to the job. Weekends, early mornings, evenings, I try to focus on, my career and Driving While Black. So my career and growing Driving While Black are usually pretty like hand in hand.
Yeah.
So that's things that I do for myself usually grow the business
They're
as well.
aligned.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we have this thing we do. It's a rapid fire. Anything that comes to your mind.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Something old.
Something old. Ooh. Oh, all right, hold on.
See, you're not ready.
I know.
Not ready.
Oh, good.
I didn't even want to give you that much warning. I was just like fired right at you.
Oh,
And I saw what you were looking at me.
I was looking around. If anything. I'll stick to my answer. I would say stuff in here, but it's very it's old because it has history. So that's my my answer. Yeah.
Well, something new.
Something new. I think my album. My album is
There
new.
you go.
There it is. Yeah.
Something treasured.
Something treasured. Ooh. I have to go back to this. I mean, look at everything here. I mean, treasured
Awesome.
history. It's all here. Yeah.
Awesome.
And something about you that's true.
Something about me that's true. I am someone that always just wants to see people win.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good goal, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Do you mind dropping a few bars when we come
I don't
back?
mind at all.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. Hey guys, welcome to Byron's Bodega. Today I wanted to highlight and put some emphasis on what I actually am as a guitar player. I think a lot of people know me for rock and roll and blues and metal, and I'm all of those things, but at the core of what I do, I'm an acoustic guitar player, and I collect acoustics. I play more acoustic than I do electric, and this is, I don't know, these are some of my special friends from my collection that I wanted to share with you, but I feel like I learned a lesson that if you can't play it on acoustic, then you're not really playing. So that was sort of my thing, and I've never let go of that, and for the rest of my life, I will continue to collect acoustic guitars and write my songs on there.
This is great. I love this, by the way. Okay. Yeah. Look. First driving while black, then I hit him with another Player haters gon' retire my number. Instigators, they be all in my business. Instagram, I hardly post any pictures. Yo, I like to stay ducked off in that Ford truck with the roof off. Last living rock star. Anything I drop on ya, be similar similar to Pearl Harbor. No similes, cause there's none like them. No remedy for them, they can't cure them, can't mourn them. We gon' live forever. Yo, this is big in the Gucci sweater. Roots for future in the Gucci sandals. We done built this from the ground up, so this here can never be dismantled. Revolutions never televised on your channel. Gave y'all loaded ammo over classic King samples. Y'all just candles, low flames to my shining. When I get bright as block, I'm Jack Nick in the shining real quick. Give you limelight, had to get my mind right. Drive a wild black, shit I got 5 mics, big y'all slept on. Know my flows is never stepped on. Right-handed giving layups with the left on, that's too easy. I could probably sell a blank CD. You can't join the ranks with me, no limits. Might pull up in the tank. This is Kobe with the number 8. My dog told me kill the whole summer sand. Y'all ain't going nowhere like y'all doing the running man. Me, I'm like Cunningham, man, he's so cunning fam. Young bull in his 20s and old heads looking up to him. A 101, not a one of them. We held you down in the winter and we got you for the summer too. Rose petals anytime I'm coming through. Cut the strings off your pedal, turn rap the heavy metal, man, it's J to the letter O, R-D-A-N. If you need to hear once more, I'll spell it again. Drop a new project this year, y'all welcome again. Yo, we done came a long way from Section 8, cause now the boy got the juice like Welch's grape. Hey, yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.